When you're editing, it's nice to be able to make notes directly in your project. And one of the tools you can use is something called markers. Now, it's easy to put a marker anywhere on the timeline. Simply move your cursor where you want to put a note, such as, I need to verify that the spelling is correct on Vanessa's name. So I place my playhead there, and I can create a marker by either hitting this button or using the M key. You'll notice now there's a little green arrow that points down, and if I click on it, I can add more detail. Another way to get into it would be just to press the M key again. So if you press the M key twice in a row, you can create a marker and open up this dialog box to add information. For instance, I'm going to name it spell check. And then in the comments column, I'm going to just write myself a note to call Vanessa to verify the spelling. While we're in this dialog box, I want to point out a couple of things. This is a comment marker, and that's the default marker that you would be making. Other types of markers you can make are chapter markers and web links and flash cue points. I'm going to press OK to create the marker. And what I want to point out is if I hover my mouse over the marker, I get a pop-up of what this says, which is spell check, the time code, and a note that says call Vanessa and verify spelling. So it's very useful information, and I can go through and I can make markers throughout my program. For instance, let's say I go over here, and if you notice, I have a nice big blank space, and I want to double check and see if that's a problem. So I'm going to simply zoom in, make sure I can position my playhead right over that, and hit the M key twice to create a marker. And I'm going to say, find shot for space. Now, a marker can have duration, so if I wanted to, I can type in a duration, say 3 or 4 seconds, so I can really spot it. I can also just use my virtual slider to do this. Now watch, when I press OK, you'll notice that this marker actually has thickness. So it's easy for me to spot, and anywhere I hover over that marker, I can find the recommendation that I need. Now, you can modify markers by stepping back into them, and it's easy to clear markers or to remove a single marker from the marker drop-down window or using keyboard shortcuts. Now, you can easily navigate between markers using the Shift-M and the Shift-Command-M keyboard shortcuts. So if I'm in my timeline and I'm going to zoom out by pressing the backslash key, I can press Shift-M and I'll jump forward to the next marker, or Shift-Command-M and jump backwards to the previous marker. One final note about markers. There's actually a tab here called Markers in the project pane, and if I click on that, I will actually see every single marker and a poster frame from the clip that the marker is above. So let me go ahead and add one more marker so you can see it appear in our marker panel. I'll place it right over this pizza shot. I'm going to simply press the M key. We can see it's created. I'll press the M key again to write a note. And this is just for the training. I'll press OK. And as you can see, we have our 3 areas where we have our markers. But what's really nice about this is I can simply click on any one of these and my playhead will jump directly to that marker so I can see the note that I made for myself. Now that you know about markers, you can do away with that pencil and paper to take notes about your changes and do it directly in your project file.